There you go. Always support them, yeah. Do it for Everton, 20, and Wrexham. Every Sunday or Saturday, whatever, I always put a little bit of a good luck to 20. Well, I find it ridiculous that I left there in 1986 and there's still people now in touch. Like nearly 50 years ago, you know what I mean? And you must have done something right. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm quite proud actually. Yeah, there's actually people replying. FC20 have replied now, thank you, Billy. So, I mean, that's great. It's just a shame I can't get over there to watch in person, but I see it travels a little bit out the way at this moment, so you support from afar.
Rutten nog opnieuw aanzetten voor een Twente-aanval. De buitenspelval knap omzeild door Birkendaal. Die verslikt zich bijna en weet dan rode bij de eerste paal. Ashcroft, schitterend. De voorzet is op maat en Ashcroft komt zijn tweede treffer binnen. Twente leidt met 3-0.
I try to update it because obviously I'm not on television. So you spend all day on your phone updating on whatever news channel while the match is on. Oh nee, het staat niet wel als je er langzaam spreekt. Het is heel lang geleden voor Enschede, you know. But now it's God, how many years? We left in what's 80, 85, so 40 years. I forget most of the English I learned. I left Middlesbrough and everyone was thinking, well, that's the end of the career. You just go in to just see out the last elite years of your life. And then I really wanted to prove that I could still play a bit. 20 gave me the opportunity and I did it. So I'm very proud of my time there. If you think about it, I left Liverpool when I was 15 to go and live in, or 16 to live in Wales, to play for Wrexham. And I still am a Scouser, I'm still a Liverpool lad, but people ask you, because I don't speak with a real Liverpool accent, and I've had people saying that you're a woollyback, which means that you're from Runcorn or from Widnes or somewhere out of the city. I said, no, I was born in Garston. We were nicknamed the Mudmen, because down where the shore is, the shoreline, it was all mud. This is Garston, yeah, this is Liverpool. We've been in Liverpool for about 10 minutes. If you go straight on, that's Garston Docks, where my dad worked. My dad was a docker back there, my mum was a cleaner on the corner. I grew up, this is where I grew up. I was a kid here. That's the wife's house there I used to live. And that's, we were down there. These were terraced houses going into there and all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, it still feels like home. Still got my family around here. Still got a lot of friends around here. Somebody would give you a cup of tea. I had to be determined because I didn't kick a ball till I was 14. But when my dad said to me, look, when you leave school, you're going to work on the docks with me. And I looked and I thought, there's no way I'm working on the docks. I'm determined now to actually make a go of this football thing. There was a thing back in England back in the day that if you wrote to the football club, or your school wrote to the football club and said, we got this player here, or you could write to the football club and say, well, I think I'm good enough to play for your team, your youth team. I want to be a professional footballer. You'd write to them and you get a reply from them. When I was this delivery boy getting 50 pence a week, whatever, and I bought the football, started kicking the ball against the wall. So a week later, I bought some writing paper, envelopes and some stamps the week after. And within probably 9 to 10 months, I'd had 3 or 4 trials and my dad says, look, you're not going to make it, which makes you even more determined. And then I got a touch of luck at Blackpool. And then he must have saw a little bit of a spark there. And then when I went to Wrexham, and my dad used to come, my uncles used to come and take my dad over and that. And he actually spoke to the manager. And the manager said, I've got high hopes for him. He said, look at the size of him. So the guys I was playing against, they felt it. Okay, you start your car. What we're going to do, I'm going to make you just drive. I just want you to keep driving in the straight line, straight forward. If I want you to turn, I'll give you plenty of warning.
I don't have the key.
I'll give you the key. Don't start. Bloody Chelsea supporters, there you go.
Clear. Handbrake off.
If you're going to hit something, get something old and knackered. Very nice. Tell me if there's anything behind you.
No.
How do you know?
I look in the mirrors.
You check your mirrors. So every single time you go into a new road, you need to check. Just remember, the last 20 metres, everything should be done. Mirrors, signal, position, speed, and look. So you get to here, you should be in the correct gear. Don't want that on.
No, yeah.
Should be in second gear. Because if you've looked long enough from far enough back, you can see everyone's going straight on. You don't need to be in first gear. Well done with your mirrors. Instructing is a lot of the time not over-instructing. If somebody can do something, get on with it, and I'll pick up the sort of pieces that you're missing. I hate saying this, is go past the pub. It seems that the only place I know is to find anywhere is with pubs. Why am I still a driving instructor at 70? I've always been a worker, I've always liked working, and I found this job and I absolutely love it. There's nothing better than going to somebody's house the first day, they get in the car, they have no idea what they're doing, they can't steer the car, they can't even turn the car on. Then a while later, a couple of months later maybe, they come back into the test centre and they go, I passed. And it's like, I've just scored again. And it feels, I'm buzzing for them because it's something, it's the most grown-up thing they will have done pretty much in their life up to now. And to be a part of it, who wouldn't want that? It's great for a knackered old footballer, you know, with bad knees and a dodgy hip. And I was taking Stephen Gerrard's daughter for a while and Leighton Baines. And it's great when Stephen comes out and he says, I hope you're patient. And of course I'm patient, I'm Evertonian, we haven't won anything for bloody years. And Bainesy comes out and he thumbs up. And then I got Duncan Ferguson's son. Unfortunately, I never got Lily Gerrard and Rhys Baines through the test because I was in hospital. Probably the first time I ever kicked a ball was on this corner. There was times when there was no money at all. And you'd go and borrow money for next door. There used to be like the meters that you had. There was an electric meter or a gas meter. So sometimes you'd be there and the meter would go, so you'd have no electricity. And if your dad hadn't worked, because you weren't assured a job, you had to go there and queue to see if they'd give you work that day. There could be 100 men. They called it the pen. And there'd be 100 men all looking for work, and then you had the guys with a bowler hats saying you, and you. So you probably only get maybe 20 men working, so there was 80 men coming home with no money. So it was difficult. But then years later, you know, things get better. My dad got a better job. He worked for a company up the road, container base. And things looked up. No, we did the best they could, you know, and my mum used to work in that. And yeah, it was very, very rare that you'd be without. They always made sure you had something to eat and make sure that you had the electricity. We were probably one of the first houses around here in the street to have a television. And remember people coming to watch the World Cup and stuff at the house. But it was a tough place to live. But there was always somebody looking out for you. My last year at Middlesbrough, I was surplus to requirements, and they put up me, I think, for the full season. I played a few games and scored a few goals, important goals, but we got relegated. So at the end of the season, the manager said to me, I'm letting you go. When you're told that you're no good, you're getting a free transfer from Middlesbrough, you're going. We don't need you anymore. That's like a real kick in the stomach, and it's like, am I really that bad? And then Heine Otto, I will be forever grateful to Heine for passing my name over. And then instead of just going to Enschede and just doing 2 years and picking a wage pack up and then leaving, and then people saying, well, yeah, he was all right, but he wasn't great. I was there for 3 years, and I've still got people texting me and messaging me on Twitter and Facebook, you're my favourite player at Enschede. And it was like, they still remember me. So from going from somewhere that didn't want you to somewhere that really, really liked you, couldn't get any better than that.
Koopman. Goeie beweging, buitenom. De voorzet is ook goed. Daar is Ashcroft. Schitterende goal.
Van Gestel. Zocht het andere been, vond het niet. Vrezen kan dat beter. Ashcroft is daar. En het is een goede kopbal. Billy Ashcroft.
Technically, I was looking at some of these players. I mean, I just come from, when I signed for Middlesbrough, we had Graham Souness, Terry Cooper, who was England international left back, Dave Armstrong, who was played for England. Gets to Enschede, I had no idea who these guys were. But then I played with them, and I thought, this is going to be brilliant. And it wasn't. It was terrible, because we got relegated the first year.
Alle lengte voorin bij de vrije trap van Van Gaal. En inderdaad, het doelpunt van Sparta. Dat was de gelijkmaker. En 1-1 was ook de uitslag van de wedstrijd tussen Twente en Sparta. Spiets, we hebben voor de wedstrijd gezegd dat we daarna terug zouden komen. Ik vraag je nu wat ik je toen ook vroeg. Hoe is het nu met FC Twente?
Ja, hoe is het nu met FC Twente? Kijk, je hebt natuurlijk een punt verspeeld thuis, maar het is gewoon verder gaan.
Then we changed managers and we changed tack and everything. Spitzcone came in, and then the lunatic Mr. Korbach, my favourite ever manager. He's just... And he changed it. Changed me, changed the way we played. We got promoted. Yes, we're in Wales. This now is Wales. Wrexham gave me the chance. I mean, I came to Wrexham as a 15, 16-year-old. 15 years of age I was, actually. So I made my sort of first team debut here, scored my first goals here, got married when I was here. I married Pam. My firstborn was born in Liverpool, actually, but we were still living in Wales. So all my firsts have been done in Wrexham. First car, took me driving test here. The road was like this when I was here before. It's never been fixed. But yeah, it's this is all my parents got great memories. For me, pretty much this is like coming home. There's the ground there, and this is the Maes Gwyn.
When was the last time you were at the game then? At the races?
Last season.
Yeah.
I had surgery last year, so I couldn't get out, couldn't go to any games.
Right.
So I even gave me season tickets up at Everton.
Oh.
But, which is good.
I have to say, mate,
Yeah.
that's probably for the best.
For some reason we ended up in the away end for a while. We got sent off in that game.
Right, what a special guest we have today. Absolute honour, 273 games for Wrexham, 96 goals. The Yeti, please make some noise for Mr. Billy Ashcroft. But Billy, brought in by Wrexham, by John Neal when you were 16 originally. How did it all, because you were at Everton before that as a kid, was it Blackpool as well? How did that all come about in the first place?
I actually wrote to Everton for trials, and everything was going well until they seen me play.
Instant Tucker, altijd and Tucker, I think the phrase is. It's a team that I do absolutely love, and embarrassingly I've not been back but I would love to go back and watch a game at the Grolsjewest. I was 9 when we went to the Netherlands, and it was a bit strange, to be honest. I knew the Netherlands was a different country, but I didn't really know what to expect. And it was hard to get used to at the start. Language was the one big barrier, I suppose. But luckily, I went to a Dutch school rather than an international school. So I was thrown into it, learning all day long. And then after school, I go and play with my friends outside. And it was just constantly practicing and practicing. And I got it very quickly, I think. At that age, you do really, don't you, at 9? We still use some Dutch words in the house. When we're talking about sweets, we always talk about snoep. And if there's a draft, you know, doe de deur dicht. Just things like that.
I thought this young Dutch lad there, Dijksteel, well, I thought he went to Wrexham.
It's his brother.
Ah, okay.
His brother was in the academy at Middlesbrough. Anthony Dijksteel, isn't it?
Is he?
Yeah, he's on the bench there. Good tackle, lad.
Good tackle. What's he doing wearing bloody gloves?
Won't last long in Middlesbrough, lad.
Look at his midfield. They're playing exactly how he would have played. Get in there and make yourself available.
I do miss that five-a-side.
Believe it or not, up until a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was still playing five-a-side football with my son, who's slightly younger than me, obviously. But the guys that we were playing against were younger than him. I could hold my own with all of them. You know, I was. You could tell I was an ex-professional. Then I started getting a few twinges, which slowed me down a little bit, which obviously I've never had speed anyway. And then I got a letter saying that you need to come and get your aorta checked. So it's the valve that's just below your heart. And it was fine. It was 4.5 centimetres or millimetres, whatever. And then they said, come in 3 months and get it checked. So it had gone from 4.5 to 4.6, and then it was 4.7. Oh, don't worry about it. When it gets to 5.5, then we'll start worrying about it. So over the next 12 months or so, it had gone from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it was 5 point something. If it gets to 5.5, 5.6, it could pop. It's like getting a balloon. So you blow a balloon up and it's like that. Then when you let it down, it's still the same shape. But once you've done it 10, 15, 20 times, it comes saggy and baggy. And that's what happens with the aorta. It becomes soft. And then if it pops, there's not a great deal nothing to do about it because it's like the whole thing just... So it doesn't look great. I went down to Liverpool Hospital on the Thursday. My son took me down there. I had the operation, which was... Instead of cutting me there, they cut me from here, from my stomach, right the way down to the back. And then they got inside and pushed things to one side. I think he's left his golf clubs in there somewhere because it doesn't feel great. So then I had like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 stitches all the way around. So what they did was they clamped up here, clamped here, took this out, took the parts out of a hoover and a clock, and then they pieced them all together and sewed it back up, then stitched it in. And now it's I don't know, a synthetic material. So I've got this little piece of whatever it is in there. I was in intensive care and I was in a coma for, I don't know, a couple of days or so. There's the park, so I didn't have far to come to actually get to play football. That's changed as well. That wasn't there when I was a kid. That building, this was just a park with trees right the way down the centre. I think I played my first game for the Salvation Army. Green shirts, which they supplied, and green shorts, but you needed green socks, and I didn't have any. So my mum took a pullover and took the sleeves off, a green pullover, sewed the bottoms, and I had to wear them. It was really uncomfortable, but I played. That was my first game. I was rubbish. Yeah, Garston Park. That was the first time I ever played in a proper match with two people with two teams with a football strip on. All started here. Yeah, I was lucky enough to play against Van Basten, Gullit, Rijkaard, the Koeman brothers. In fact, that's a Marco van Basten, and he never got a kick. The 3 goals he scored were just complete flukes. Fritz Korbach came in, and the first day we didn't get on. He said to me, he said, "You're not fit." And I was like, well, of course I'm not fit. I've been in Liverpool all the close season on the beer and been on the beach and stuff. So I said, listen, and I'm not going to tell you who the player was, but I said, you see him over there? He looks like Bruce Lee. He's got the body and he can run all day. But when it comes to Christmas, he'll be on the bench getting treatment. I'll be the one digging you out of a hole. I'll score the goals for you. I thought, oh, what have you said? So in the afternoon, we come around, he said, sit down on the grass. He said, just want to apologise to Billy. Now, if you do that for me, we've got no problem. So I'd run through a brick wall for this guy. And I don't know what it was, 20-odd goals that season. So we became pretty close, you know.
En Leuning mag de hoekschop nemen. Doet dat scherp. En dit is de gelijkmaker. Ashcroft en Pauls tekenen ervoor. 1-1. En dan Pauls. Rand buitenspel of niet. Hij wordt neergelegd. En dan is het Ashcroft die FC Twente verdiend op voorsprong brengt.
It was all about the club and making people feel comfortable. I mean, coming home from England, it's like no transport. My car's back in England. And somebody took me out and said, go and pick a car. So I'm driving down the Mercedes, and I've never had a Mercedes in my life. I need to pay. No, it's a present from us. Just score loads of goals. But being looked after like that, they didn't have a clue who I was.
De voorzet van Peltzer, Koopman. Goed kopend op Sørensen. Goede beweging ook van Sørensen, daardoor los van zijn tegenstander. Sanchez Torres kiest positie op rechts en die is snel, maar Erkens is het ook. Maar die slijding is niet goed. Schot! En dan Ashcroft, goal! Goed werk van Sanchez Torres. Mooi afgerond door Billy Ashcroft, die zijn 9e goal scoort voor de FC Twente.
It wasn't a home from home until Sorensen turned up, Jan Sorensen. And he was just one of the lads, you know what I mean? He'd phone me up, do you feel like going for a beer? And if you'd had something to say, he'd listen to you and he'd sort of help you out with stuff. And it was strange walking down the road and all these people speaking this different language, and I'm like, no idea. And then a couple of months later, you're walking down the road and you're picking little words up, and then you start feeling like you're a part of it. And I say that the guys made me feel a part of it as soon as I got there. You just felt so comfortable, and they couldn't do enough for you. The people of Enschede, they couldn't do enough for you.
En hij zit. Ashcroft die er 1-1 van maakt.
I wrote for a trial to Tranmere Rovers pretty much before I'd even had a proper game of football. And I got a trial over at Tranmere. And to be fair, when the manager came out and said, go back to school, son, you'll never make a footballer. He was absolutely right. But then it was like, how dare you say that to me? You know, you don't even know who I am. So then I got this ball, and I could wear a pair of shoes away in a season, you know what I mean, just by kicking against the wall. And the great thing was I made my home debut against Tranmere, and we beat them 4-1. And to be fair, I had a really good game for a young lad. And their manager came in, he said, well, I'm so glad you never listened to me. He said, I'm really pleased for you and your manager. I thought I was like big of him to actually say that. When I was a kid coming along here with me dad and my uncles and that, and I knew I was going to the match, you were so excited. This is called Queen's Drive, and it's the run to Old Goodison Park. And your hair was tingling in the back of your head, and you had goosebumps. Yeah, we used to walk up. We come out one of the side roads, Then we'd walk up here, and sometimes we'd go into the church because that's where the Heritage Society is, and you buy your programmes and memorabilia, and then we used to walk round the ground and we used to just bump into our mates. But it was like when you walk down there and you see that, the big crest up there. The travel to Blackpool was difficult, and my uncle used to take me all the time. It was difficult for him, so I said to him, look, I've got a trial with Wrexham in Liverpool, because they had this guy in Liverpool who was the scout. So I played in a practice match, and this guy said, yeah, I quite like him, he's a big lad, and he puts himself about. So I was there for a couple of weeks training, and the next thing I get through the post, you're playing for the Wrexham B team on the Saturday. So I went up on the Saturday, we won 5-2, I scored 2 goals, and I think the following week I was in the reserves, playing against Penman Mower from up the Welsh coast. And the guy who was marking me, I must have been 16 maybe at the time, was a Welsh wrestler called Orig Williams. He was a nasty piece of work, Orig. I'm 16, we get a corner, Orig's marking me, and he's got me in a headlock, doing this. Unfortunately, we had a scouser playing for us called Joey Duncan, and he started giving Orig verbals. So Orig left me and he chased Joey around the stadium, and I got away with murder that day. But that's when John Neal said to me, when you finish the school, I'm going to sign you on as on the ground staff as an apprentice. I played for Blackpool, Wrexham, Middlesbrough and FC20, retired. It was a pleasure to play in this team. We had a freedom, we could do what we want. The boss would just, go and play football. There's not a great deal of tactics, but it was just, go and enjoy yourself. We're not paying you much, but you can go and enjoy yourself. Brilliant.
So FC20 where you go to, and to this day are revered as a cult hero. One of the first, I guess, English players to got to play against like Johan Cruyff, Frank Rijkaard, Marco van Basten, Ruud Gullit, Johnny Rep, these sort of players. How was all of that for you?
That was fantastic. I mean, yeah, I was lucky enough to play against the old school, like Cruyff and that sort of era, and then played against Van Basten, Gullit, Rijkaard, the Koeman brothers. In fact, that's a Marco van Basten, and he never got a kick. The 3 goals he scored were just complete flukes. Let me tell you. He thought I was slightly crazy over there. So they'd have the name, and they always left me to last, and they'd say, number 7 is Martin Koopman, numero 8, Manuel Sanchez Torres, numero 9, the gekke Engels, the crazy Englishman, Hillbilly Ashcroft, and I was like, any need. But, I mean, they took to me really, really well. I mean, I've still got loads and loads of friends over there, and I'd love to go back, but I can't even make it to the end of the road, never mind to Holland.
I found it very strange because I dropped him off at the hospital that morning, came back home, logged into work, and by the time I finished work, he was in a coma. And it was just, my head was spinning for a few days, thinking, how has this happened? It was supposed to be a routine operation. So just for that first couple of weeks, my mum was in a terrible state. Everyone that was coming to the house, seeing how we were, thinking the same thing, thinking that it doesn't sound good.
Good effort. That would annoy me, that though. You're going down the line, the fannying about, and all you got to do is put a ball into the bloody far post. Do you know, it's like dancing, it's like come dancing, the way they put their arms on you, and nothing happens. Jesus.
All those defenders in the box and that one person was picking him up, that's ridiculous.
They're not challenging him, they're putting the bloody arms on him and dancing.
That's poor defending.
Yeah, fair enough, good goal.
I don't think Carrick will be happy with that though. Good tackle, lad.
Good tackle, he's hurt himself though. Like an episode of MASH. Good ball. Get in.
A good goal that was.
Just what he's just done there, going to the crowd, you couldn't describe that. The feeling you get, everything, your head's just going to explode. I just wish one more time to put a shirt on and go and play some, but even five-a-side, I just love it.
I've kept hold of me last pair of indoor boots, just in case.
I know, I've still got mine, I'm never going to use them.
You never know.
I've got a pair of shorts, but they're not going to fit me anymore.
Give it a few months, it might fit me.
I wouldn't be able to play five-a-side now anyway because of this operation. So I just think, yeah, I can't overdo anything.
It was the first time in my entire life where he wasn't like a superhero, he wasn't Superman. Suddenly he became, he's just a man. And it was difficult to take and it was hard to get my head around, just for a few weeks at least. But I always had faith that he's a really strong character, so I knew he'd come through it. Even if it did at times keep me awake at night, it was worrying, I knew deep down, if anyone was going to get through it, it was him.
I came out of intensive care, I was on morphine for the pain, and I thought, I can't be doing, I'm not taking drugs like that. So I said to him, can you stop the morphine? I don't want that. I'll just have Grolsch will do, anything, a painkiller. So I was on some painkilling tablets and that. But it's just knackered me completely. I get out of breath. It's I wouldn't say debilitating, but what's happened now is my legs have started to go a little bit and the knees. But it's painful now because I say I've got a lump on the side and it's when you sit for so long. But once again, you've got to look on the bright side of life, haven't you? It's like, I might not be here. And yet I'm still here now telling you how this went. So the alternative to that is just doesn't bear thinking about.
Any final words for the fine folks at Wrexham?
It's unbelievable. The support here now. I remember coming to a match 5 or 6 years ago. And I said to the fellow that was next to me, I went, hey, it's quiet here, mate, isn't it? Now you can't get a seat. So yeah, I mean, it's down like we've got 2 games left now that we've got to win, and it's down to you guys to just keep them going. The last game I came to was, somebody said to me, the gaffer wants to see you. So I thought, Christ, I'm getting a bollocking. Can he still find me if we don't play with him? That's the only time I get took into an office. So I goes down then and I went, pleased to meet you, gaffer. He said, I'm a big fan. I went, oh, it's a wind up. But he said, no, and he got me a parking space outside the ground. Fabulous. And I was speaking about like what's got us there, and he said, the support, how can you get the support? So you guys just keep it going. Thank you everyone for inviting me.
You made me very happy growing up, I tell you, mate.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
You're my hero, you were born, tell you.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
Our hero going up, sir.
Yes.
Can we have your photo?
Of course you can, yeah. I always talk about being a pub football team, and everyone says, you're a bit derogatory about your football team, aren't you? That's not what I mean about a football team. If you've got a pub football team, it's all the lads that drink in the pub who live locally and they're all mates together. The players now, one lives in over there, one lives 2 miles, 30 miles. You never see each other unless they're going for a game. But in Enschede, we were together, we were bonded, we went for beers together. And then when we came onto the pitch, we used to back each other up all the time. And callback was like, we get stuck into each other. And with some of the players that we had, you know, we were good to watch as well. The likes of René Road coming to the squad, he was just unbelievable. I mean, he could put a cross in from the dugout and still find you.
Roord. Moet die voorzet komen. Naar het hoofd van Ashcroft. Mooie draaibal. Ja hoor.
David Blumen became this incredible player. Manuel was always Manuel. And Sorensen, he just dictated. He was probably the best player in the league at the time. And I was scoring goals.
Dan nu die hoekschop van Michael Birkendaal op Jan Seurensen. In het strafschopgebied nu, voorzet. Ashcroft koppen, doelpunt. Mooie goal van Billy Ashcroft.
Verleden jaar, met Feyenoord er zelfs bij, kwamen bij de eerste 4 thuiswedstrijden van Twente 29.000 mensen kijken. Dan zou je zeggen, als ze dan naar de eerste divisie gaan, dan wordt dat minder. Zeker als je tegenstanders hebt als SVV, Heracles, NAC, NEC. Maar niks daarvan. Meer mensen in de eerste 4 thuiswedstrijden dan verleden jaar zelfs.
Dan staat hij in het hart van de RBC-defensie. Schop is genomen. Ashcroft kopt. Doelpunt. Ja hoor. Billy Ashcroft.
Ashcroft koppend. Doelpunt. Ja. Keurige voorzet van Tony McNulty op het hoofd van Billy Ashcroft. 10 minuten na rust. 2-0.
I even think when I was a kid, I was about 8, 9 years of age, and I was thinking, I've never played football before, but if one of them gets injured and they need somebody from the crowd, they could look around and go, that ginger fella will do. You still feel like that now. You know, if you turn up and one of them's injured, Billy will play. I know he can't walk. He's 70, he's got a belly on him, but he'll play, he'll have a go. Just to wear that Everton shirt. I didn't ever want to leave Wrexham because of anything else, except for I wanted to play at places like this, like Goodison Park or Old Trafford or Main Road. That's what I wanted to do. And this was the highlight of my life, playing here. Walking out into that pitch, like I used to stand at this end, at that end, and I used to look and see these players coming out, and especially night matches. And I had to do it. And I lived the dream. So it would have been 1977 to 82 that I played here against Everton. We came here and we beat them 2-0, beat Everton 2-0. I keep saying beat us 2-0, but I was playing for Middlesbrough, so I was us with Middlesbrough, but we beat Everton 2-0. It's a proud club, and it's just fading fast.
What's this?
Camera. Evertonian.
Nah, not really. Liverpool from me.
What are you doing around here?
I don't know, play around here.
You any good?
Yeah, heavy.
You're going to play for Liverpool?
Yeah. I'm going to
All
play
right.
for school when I'm older. Not Everton.
No.
Horrible them.
They won't be in the same division.
Yeah, I know. We'll be in the Premier League, they'll be nice.
What do you mean they? That's us. I support these.
Doesn't matter. Like Liverpool, like they'll be in the Premier League still, and then yours will just be like not to be seen in there.
I can see it coming off, can't you?
I can see it coming as well.
You haven't got any decent players we can borrow?
No, not really.
What about you? What are you doing next Saturday?
Don't know, probably lying in bed.
You wouldn't wear an Everton shirt, would you?
No, not really.
I hope you make it one day, kid.
I will.
I'll be looking out for you.
Nice one.
Fantastic. Callback said, I want you to stay for another season. I said, well, I don't know. He said, I'll give you more money or whatever. It's not the money. I'm starting to feel that little bit of pains. And, he said, I won't play you every single game, and you won't have to train every day. I thought, well, that'll do for me. So I went back for one more season. And I was only a bit part player. I didn't play in a lot of games. So yeah, I signed for 2 years, and I stayed for one more year. So yeah, it says volumes for how much we enjoyed it.
Ashcroft en Walderbos. Het is Ashcroft die wint. En het is Bleuming met balbezit. Het is een doelpunt ook. Het begint bij de winst van Ashcroft.
I still think the Netherlands, that was his best time. When he was playing in England, if he was playing up front, I know he played as a centre-half for some of the time, but the ball would be kicked long to him and he'd have to head it down. Whereas at FC Twente, you had Manuel Sanchez-Torres and Evert Bleuming, who were putting crosses in constantly. And he did score a lot of headers, so it must have worked wonders while he was there.
Yes!
Oh, what a great goal that is. Well done, lad.
Superb. Did he put it between the keeper's legs?
Looks like it. Very, very calm.
Superb, lad.
What a great finish.
I mean, if put a score, you're jumping up. You've got the same with Everton, Wrexham, 20. Not Liverpool. If Liverpool scored, it's like, yeah, not happy with them.
Oh,
what a goal.
It's come out of absolutely nowhere. What a finish.
Absolutely spot on.
As a family, we've not had the best of luck, so, but we can't let things get us down. So, typical being my dad, no matter what he does, nothing will get him down. He will fight through anything. Whether it's a centre half, whether it's heart problems, whether it's anything like that, he's a real fighter. And as someone that growing up I looked up to, and still, at the age of 50, I still look up to him. I've had a stroke, I was lying in a hospital bed for 2 months. And I could have felt sorry for myself, but I would have never walked again. Or people would have had to look after me constantly. Whereas now, I've pushed myself, and I look at it as a positive thing. I've been given a second chance.
I think when you talk about the way I am, he's the same. What he said was, it's happened, got to get on with it. But yeah, I'm proud of my family completely, yeah. Just living life at the moment, you know, because it's like, you've been given extra time, you know what I mean? It just, if it didn't go well, this is the time you've been given. Come on, man, blow your whistle.
Go on.
Well done, buddy. And the lights are gone out. Great 3 points. I knew my limitations. I've never thought I was a top-class footballer. I played with top-class players who helped me and made me look decent. Don't forget, I never played football until it was very late. So to actually get 20 years out the game and thinking you're going to end up on the docks, it's one of those things where it's like, are you proud of what you did? Oh, gee, right, with the ability I had, which wasn't massive, I did big things. And I'm so proud. Again, well done for avoiding the potholes. They're like swimming pools around here. Well done, you checked your mirrors that time, because I noticed. So what your position you're playing? You're in midfield again?
No, I've been put back on a wing, left wing.
So they're getting you further and further over to the bench?
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Splinters in your backside.
I played yesterday for the Everton team.
Oh yeah?
In the 4th division. 1-2-1.
Did you score?
I did, yeah. I scored a winning goal.
You scored a winning goal?
Yeah.
Is there any proof? You seem to score it every bloody week and I never seem to see it. I love it. How many lessons you had?
9.
So you're driving like that after 9 lessons?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, that. I mean, I've got people that I had in the car and not as good as that after 20 lessons. So it's nice to have somebody who can listen. Okay, you suppose the wrong football team, but we can put up with that, I suppose.
It's fun. Fun with Billy. He's a nice man.
He's got to say that because he's seeing my granddaughter.
No.
I just got this thing, it's like somebody tells you can't do something. It's how dare you? Okay, how do you know what I can and can't do? I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's all you do, prove people wrong.
My dad, his football career was down to optimism. That being told, you're not going to make it. Yes, I will. Unless you've got that optimism and that drive, I don't think you get anywhere in life.